హలో అండి, హాయ్ ఎవ్రీవన్. ఈరోజు ఇంటర్వ్యూలో నాతో పాటు పి మంగత్రామ్ జ్యువెలర్స్ సిహెచ్ఆర్ఓ అండ్ అలానే ఇన్సైడ్ అవుట్ జెలాటోస్ ఐస్ క్రీమ్ బ్రాండ్ ఫౌండర్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇన్సైడ్ అవుట్ బుక్ ఆథర్ శ్రీమతి దీపా గులబానీ గారు ఉన్నారు. వారితో మాట్లాడదాం.
Hi.
హాయ్ మ్యామ్, హౌ యూ డూయింగ్?
Perfect.
సో తెలుగు మీకు అర్థం అవుతుందా? యూ అండర్స్టాండ్ తెలుగు?
No.
నో. ఓకే.
I understand Hindi and English.
హిందీ అండ్ ఇంగ్లీష్. ఓకే.
I can read and write Telugu, but I can't speak well.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll put the questions in English.
Done.
Fine. So, ma'am, when we go back to your childhood, where did you, from where do you hail from, and how was your childhood?
I am born, brought up, everything, and married in Hyderabad only.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Yeah.
you're Pakka Hyderabadi?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, very, very lazy childhood. Very pampered.
Okay. Pampered or spoiled?
Both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, and what was your educational qualification?
So I was doing my MCom, but I couldn't complete the last exam since I fell very sick during that time. And it was a life-threatening disorder that I had at that point of time.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was in the year
1992.
1992. Okay.
Yeah.
After your completion of
I
education.
just finished my, yeah. So I was preparing for my MCom finals. And that's when I fell sick and I couldn't give my exams.
Okay.
Otherwise, my forte was accountancy.
Oh, okay. If you don't mind, can we know what was the disease that you encountered?
Actually, it is a skin disease, which, like in India, they say people at the age of 60 only get it. So doctors were unable to diagnose it because they didn't expect at the age of 19 or 20 to somebody will get it. So then, I went in for a lot of traditional methods of treatment and all that. But that all backfired and it became a very critical case.
Okay.
So I had to be rushed to Mumbai for treatment, and where it was at the stage where, I literally asked for mercy killing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I couldn't see, I lost my hair, I couldn't speak, I used to walk half my height and all that, yeah. And I was the first to take the highest dose of steroids
Oh my
to
God.
get better. Yeah.
Definitely, no one would like to live such kind of life. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, I had a lot of willpower at that point of time. Thankfully, I was able to bounce back. But once I bounced back, there was a lot of side effects of the steroids. So I was like, I used to think, will the
Then
society...
how did you recover from that, ma'am?
I was
only
taken
for
to
the treatment,
Mumbai.
due to the treatment?
Yeah. I was in the hospital for a month
Okay.
because I was admitted like a 90% burnt case.
Oh.
Yeah, so that is how my situation was. I had to be in isolation and nobody could enter the room because I was just wrapping myself with a thin cloth and all that. Yeah.
Okay.
But thanks to the medical fraternity that I was able to bounce back so well. And yeah, but steroid has its own effects.
Yeah.
So yeah, trying to cope with those, but then I didn't have that much of willpower also that I would mingle with people. I was like, if people see me, what will they say? Because the first effect of steroid is the moon-shaped face, and people, the moment they'll see, "Arey, what's wrong with you? You look abnormal." So I used to I would
Okay. After you getting discharged, also the skin that was like not completely
no,
cured.
skin was cured,
Okay.
but the side effect was a very plump face.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I was very happy that I'm out of pain.
Yeah.
But I thought, oh wow, I'm out of pain and all that. But when I started interacting with people, they used to look at me weirdly, what is wrong with her? Type, she looks abnormal, body is lean, face is big. So I somehow stopped mingling with people and interacting, that social life was over because I was not having that confidence to face people. I don't know how they'll react and all that. So at that point of time, my mom took the lead, and she got me lot of, since she knew that I was good in accounts and all, she got me lot of students, and I was happy teaching them accounts and all. Slowly I was regaining the confidence
Okay,
back.
so without stepping out only, you are
Yeah.
teaching accounts to the
Yeah.
students.
I had lot of students for accountancy, business management, economics. I used to teach embroidery and all also.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what happened in your life?
Yeah, then I got married and I changed my priorities.
Okay. Like, how did you met your love of life? Was it arranged or love?
So, yeah, it was a love marriage, and he was with me throughout when I was sick as well.
Wow, that's beautiful.
So, yeah, then we got married, and yeah, I thought the family needs more attention. So, I stepped back from the dynamism, and I thought, by choice, I changed my priorities. And I thought, family, let me pay attention to the family first.
Okay.
And then I had my son,
You got married in the year, ma'am?
96.
96. Okay. Fine. And your relation was for how many years?
9 years.
9 years. Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. So in 96 you got married.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you took a break from everything.
Yes.
You are into the family life.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had
For
my
how
son
many?
at in 98. So for me, he became my central focus because I was coming from a lot of mixed thoughts in my head, like I've been through so much of steroids and still taking steroids. So will my kid be normal
Yeah.
or not? So when
Yeah,
I saw the
insecurities
normal,
definitely rushed to your mind.
yeah. And when I saw the normal child, I was like, he needs my entire attention. He deserves it. And that's where I don't know when happily 20 years of my life passed away. When suddenly I felt, oh my God, he's an adult and he doesn't need me anymore.
Okay.
That's when I started thinking, now what do I do?
So again, after 20 years, you started thinking about working again?
I was actually very scared to step out because I had lost touch with what is happening in the world around.
Okay.
And then I thought, okay, suddenly stepping out after a gap of 22 years, I don't know how I'll be able to present myself in any uh, work, like, any aspect. So I was just thinking, so then my husband said, you are very good with people, why don't you just come and join our workplace? So, and he said, why don't you try handle the HR here?
Okay.
That's how I stepped in P. Mangatram. And yeah, from there the journey began.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Re-exploring myself.
Okay. So you joined P. Mangatram, your husband's organization, as a CHRO 6 years back.
Yeah, 6 years.
Okay. So it's a CHRO, Chief Human Resources
Yes.
Officer, right?
Yes.
CHR. Okay,
Yes.
fine. And how did your first day of job looked like?
First day of job was, I have felt lost. Ki what's happening? Because I'm a little perfectionist when it comes to work.
Okay.
And when I saw things a little unorganized, I was like, and I was very scared, ki, will these guys accept me or not? Because all my people here have been with us from 20 years.
Oh.
And for, in terms of work, they become my seniors. So, I had to battle it out and find my ground there. But then, yeah, they accepted me they were very welcoming. And I enjoyed every bit of what we are doing. We are still doing. We did a lot of things. We brought in lot of changes.
Okay.
And yeah.
As a CHRO, what were the initiatives that you have took around the workplace?
So I always felt, the people who work with us, first of all, I never call them employees. I somehow, it doesn't come very naturally to me, the word, because I always tell that it's a P. Mangatram family. I don't like to call words like staff and employees and all that. So I thought, they need to be recognized, they need to be valued, they need to be heard, they need to be understood. So I can say I wanted to bring lot of changes in the emotional quotient of the company, the EQ of the company. And then I thought, like, supposing there we have ESIs, PFs, and all that. So I thought people should not struggle after they leave the job or something to get their PFs. And everything needs to be addressed. Even if they leave us, they have to smoothly, seamlessly get their PFs. And if anybody is suffering with some issues, lot of people here, they don't like to go to the ESI hospitals because there's a lot of waiting. Half the time they don't have the cards, and so uh, my HR team made sure that they were available for everything, and any small query was addressed.
Wow.
The SOPs were in place. We did a lot of women oriented programs.
Okay.
Every Women's Day we have something new.
Okay.
Yeah, and the women, like I
Can,
want.
can you elaborate regarding the women? What are the things you added upon, or
So I
what are the
tried.
policies that you brought up for the women empowerment kind of thing?
So what I wanted to do was, and I'm still trying to do, is like lot of them, they are working here, and probably the salary is not really enough to run the show, because most of them are single mothers, or there is an abuse, they are going through a lot of those things. So I always thought that after going from here, when you go back home, there should be something to look forward to, or something you can go back home and still earn money at the comfort of your home, so that you take care of your family back there. So then I tried to bring in a lot of these skill development programs,
Okay.
where I thought I can teach them some skill which they can use it in their free time.
Okay.
Then I had lot of every Women's Day we did something different, and something like a talent show kind of a thing, because I told them I don't want to bring people from outside. I want to search for talent in my own place.
Okay.
And I'm
In the
sure,
P. Mangatram family.
yes,
Yeah.
and I'm sure there'll be a lot of such people who I don't know, like you all are capable of. So during these Women's Day functions and all that, I would come to know them better. I mean, we have lot of. I think we have about 4 of them who are differently challenged.
Okay.
So yeah, and then they in the bio it used to come handicap. I said handicap word is not supposed to be used in P. Mangatram. So do something for them, make them feel comfortable, acceptable. Nobody should be looking at them in a sympathetic manner. It should be empathy and not sympathy. So I can say I'm successful to bring about the shift from sympathy to empathy in my women team.
Okay.
Yeah. Then, like every Women's Day, we try to do something different, something different, something different. From past 2 years, we are doing something really amazing. I really like them. I really appreciate them for that, because I told them, let's do something different. Think about it, because everybody wants to give back to the society, but in the kind of
So usually what kind of activities do you
that's
conduct?
what, like they want to do their bit for the society, but with the kind of salaries that they are getting, I'm not sure if they can, even if they want to do, I'm not sure if they can do it. I don't know if they have that much of financial independence to do it. So I said, okay, individually we can't, but as a team we can definitely do it. So we have adopted a school in Mysore. So my women team, they every women day, they collect, they go to all the floors. We have 4 floors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, to are the factory, one is the administration. So they collect whatever in their capacity they can. May it be 50 rupees also. But they always collect some good amount. And once we renovated the entire kitchen there, so that the entire school kids can get hygienic, there's hygiene maintained in the kitchen and all that. And previous year we did that. This year they all again came with the same idea that we'll do something like this again. This year we got a dough maker for the school,
Okay.
a huge dough maker which can make around, I think, 500 chapatis at one time.
Oh.
Because the school, the kids were not having chapatis because who's going to make so much of?
Yeah. That will be a difficult task to
Yeah.
serve like more number of people
Yeah.
coming to this chapati kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
So when I say from sympathy to empathy, now they are able to empathize with other people. They are able to get into their shoes and understand them. So I feel ki I'm able to lift them in their thoughts with the help of them.
Okay. Yeah. And what are the challenges that you have faced so far, and how did you overcome that, ma'am?
I think challenges are not very external. External challenges we can still sort it out.
Okay.
The internal challenges, that are the real challenges, where you try to start feeling that you want to prove something to someone, and that's the benchmark of success. But then I realized that that's not the benchmark of success. It's like I have to be the best that I can be, not trying to compare myself with XYZ. Oh, I'm coming after 20 years and those people are already here. And I used to get into that vicious cycle initially. That was a challenge to come out of those thoughts and be my best. And I think that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how will be your family support, ma'am? Balancing both the professional and personal life, that would be definitely a bit difficult for women.
I really don't think so, because balance doesn't mean that you have to be perfect in everything. It's, for me, balance is being aligned to your own discipline or own rules that you set for yourself, or align yourself to yourself. I think that helps you balancing everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, by listening to your story, I just wanted to put this question. I think, though it's not related much to you, but seeing now in the present society about the relationships, and we are seeing a more increased rate in the number of divorces. So, as a woman and leading a very happy married life, and even you have said, like, when you are not even feeling well about your health point of view, your husband was there beside you,
Yeah.
and he married you after you are getting cured. What would you like to say about these relationships, and no, for a beautiful relation, what is required nowadays?
I think, for a beautiful relationship, though don't have to listen to third wheelers where people come and put multiple things in your head and you start believing that to be the reality. So I feel it's more about listening to yourself. Again, I'll tell the same, believe in yourself and have that. What I would like to say to the youngsters now, the generation now, is responsibility when shared becomes respect.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a shared responsibility. As you see now, everybody, there is even you see, everybody's working these days.
Yeah.
There's no demarcation like
Yeah,
men and
irrespective
women,
of gender.
irrespective of the
Yeah.
gender. So I feel, and I really admire that they share responsibilities really well. But as you're talking about the divorce, the number of divorce cases increasing is because the tolerance level is too low nowadays, and the ego comes into picture. So I feel the management of ego is what needs to be addressed. Yeah.
Okay, fine. And coming to Inside Out Gelatos ice cream.
No, they are gelatos, not ice creams.
Okay. Inside Out Gelatos.
Yeah.
Um,
So let me tell you what is the difference between a gelato and an ice
yeah,
cream.
yeah.
So gelatos are more milk based
Okay.
and ice creams are more cream based. Ice cream.
Cream, yeah.
So iced cream. Gelatos is complete milk. So they are low on fat and a healthier version of an ice cream.
Okay, fine. So why did you want to start the brand and how is it doing now?
Oh, it's doing wonderfully. It's been 1 year now since we've
Okay.
launched, and I wanted to launch it as a cloud kitchen. So that, and I think it was the first cloud kitchen for gelatos.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Because generally it is like, ice cream people like to be served. You visually you want to see it, but it's done exceptionally
And I think
good.
this is the season also for this as it is summer.
For me, the all through the year it has been doing good.
Okay.
Yeah, since it's more accessible because we give it in tubs, or I don't know what has worked for me, but it has worked for me.
Okay.
Maybe the passion that I come from has
And
worked.
what was the thought behind the launching of this gelatos, ma'am?
It was just a passion inside out. So I named it Inside Out because authenticity inside out. I wanted to do everything to bring authentic ingredients or authenticity to the flavors. For me, it was not about selling. For me, it was creating experiences.
Okay. Okay.
A happy experience, like, a nostalgic experience. So the flavors that I choose are also like that. Like it will be Parle-G tiramisu
Oh, okay.
or a deconstructed faluda, and
Oh, all the nostalgic
yes,
memories
flavors.
coming, flavors coming
Yeah.
in the form of the gelatos.
Yes.
Okay.
So I wanted to bring, experiences. Like for me, it is like they should be able to relate with something when they have it, and that it should linger. Not
Okay.
that it's a dessert. I had it and it's over kinds.
Okay. Okay. So I was expecting some gelatos actually.
You will surely get it shortly, or you have to visit Inside Out Cloud Kitchen.
For sure. And so you've also written a book, Inside Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my book, which is going to be launched on 30th of May.
Okay.
The Inside Out. Again, I named it Inside Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is the book about?
So the book holds a lot of narratives, lot of reflections. The book was not meant to be a book initially. I just started writing my experiences, my thoughts on different aspects like, relationships, success, grief, faith, and, these subjects. And somehow when I used to share it with people, I used to just share it, "Arey, this is what I wrote today." And they used to come back to me saying, "Oh, yesterday I was so low, and after reading, I felt I was not alone."
Okay.
So that inspired me that, I think it should reach to many people because there may be, that's why I tell it's not a self help book, it's a self help book. It doesn't answer to questions, it just sits with you.
Great to know about that.
Yeah.
And so how many employees are working here, ma'am, in P. Mangatram?
So we have the 300 plus.
300 plus. Okay. So leading 300 employees, providing them employment, like which is indirectly, related to the family members also. Like, everyone will be having at least 4 or 5 family members. If you calculate like 1200 or 1500, indirectly will be
Yes.
dependent on the organization. Do you feel the responsibility on your shoulders match
I like to be responsible for it. And I feel nice about it also, that they feel they can bank on me for a lot of things. Like any family member, it's not about people who are working here, but back home also, if there are some issues going on, some health issues, some academic issues, they have that comfort that they can come to me. And I feel, for me the responsibility increases because they have that belief that I have a solution to it. So for me it's more responsibility, and but I enjoy it
Okay, great.
because they trust me with everything. They feel ki okay, go to madam and madam will take care of it.
Yeah, that is like the same time, it's like both the things. First thing, it will be definitely a happy thing, like our employees are believing on us, trusting on us, and at the same time, the responsibility part, it
Yeah,
comes like with a little bit of nervous kind of thing.
yeah, it's a mixed
Yeah.
thing, but I enjoy my role very. I mean, I really like being there for them.
Okay. And what are your future goals, ma'am? No, coming to your personal life or coming to the organization?
Coming to the organization, I want to get everybody in. It's not about women, it's about men, women. I want them to recognize that they have not one skill set, because I feel they can utilize themselves better
Okay.
in all aspects. So we did a lot of programs for self-development, personality development kinds like Udan and all, trying to show them that, they are capable of much more. So I think I'm still working on that, where I reach that level where, I feel, yeah, we do a lot of these Hunar programs also.
Okay.
Like, so the same thing, talent, but on a different level, on the level of the company. Like, supposing there are designs, we have bench workers, karigars, and all. So, why do I hire designers from outside? They themselves are capable of making designs in the required, with the right kind of stones, because they have the knowledge of everything. The kind of, the amount of, we deal in lightweight jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I wanted them to innovate something. So, we brought in this program called Hunar, where they can, not only for making the jewelry, but also strategies, how to
Okay.
strategize it
Okay.
better.
Enhancing the talent more.
Yes.
Okay. Fine.
And strategy to the extent of how we can reduce the wastage, and how we can make the production more seamless. How can we meet the timelines, the customer timelines, and all. So, yeah, it's been a great journey. Then we've formed a team also, where we sit across, like, we cross function
Okay. Great.
and understand each other better, so that there's less of ego management between departments.
Great.
Yeah.
And so you've been nominated for the Nari Shakti Awards 2026. So how do you feel about that?
Oh, I really feel recognized, and yeah, it makes me feel more like, okay, yeah, I've done something probably to get nominated.
Great, ma'am. Fine.
See, because after 20 years, you're stepping in. It's just 6 years since I've been into this, what do you say, the work and, entrepreneurship and the book and everything. I didn't think I'll get recognized so quickly.
Yeah.
I feel really obliged. I mean, it's my privilege.
Great. And finally, what would you like to say about the young girls or women watching this interview, dreaming of achieving something big?
I just tell them to hold their beliefs tight. That's the only thing that they can help them inside out. That's it. Because I was told by my guru, Mahatria, he always says the belief that you hold in the beginning of the journey defines your journey. So I've holded on to it, and I see that it works.
Great. Thank you so much for your time. It was wonderful talking to
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.